बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की। हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम भगवान हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम हमें दया करो। गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्र मूर्ते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनु रघुबर बिमल यश जोदायक फलचार। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मुहि हरहु क्लेश विकार। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। हे नाथ मम संकट हरु हरि। बोली श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। बैठ जाइए। चौपाई
काजा हृदय राखी कौशलपुर राजा। रथ चढ़ी सिया सहित दो भाई चले बनहि अवध शिर नाई। जाके सुमिरन तेरी को नाशा। नाम शत्रुघ्न वेद प्रकाशा। विश्वभरन पोषण कर जोई। ताकर नाम भरत सखा धर्म में असरथ जाके जीतन कहन कतहुरी पुताके जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय जय सीता राम जय जय राम वह शोभा जस समाज सुख कहत न वनित गे वरने शारद शेष स्तुति सोर सजान महेश सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम बंदो पवन कुमार कलबन पावक ज्ञान घन जासु हृदय आकार बस ही राम शर चाप धर
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम।
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 हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम राम हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण 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 हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम राम हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम राम हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम राम हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम राम हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम राम हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम कृष्ण हरि ओम राम। हरि ओम राम राम हरि ओम राम। बोल श्री वासुदेव भगवान की जय।
बोले श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभयश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। हरिर्नाम हरिर्नाम हरिर्नामैव केवलम् कलौ नास्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा। हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल प्राणनाथ अनाथ सखे प्राणनाथ अनाथ सखे प्राणनाथ अनाथ सखे प्राणनाथ अनाथ सखे दीन दर्द निवारे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल हे समर्थ अगम पूरन है समर्थ अगम पूरन हे समरथ अगम पूरन हे समरथ अगम पूरन मोह माया तार हे गोविंद हे गोपाल अंधकूप महाभयान अंधकूप महाभयानक अंधकूप महाभयानक अंधकूप महाभयानक नानक पार उतार हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल हे दयाल हे दयाल श्री राधा मोहन श्याम शोभन अंग कति पीतांबरम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति श्री राधावरम श्री राधा मोहन श्याम शोभन अंग कति पीतांबरम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति श्री राधावरम श्री राधा मोहन आरती आनंद घन घन श्याम की अब कीजिए आरती आनंद घन घन श्याम की अब कीजिए कीजिए विनती हमें शुभ लाभ श्री जय दीजिए दीजिए निज भक्ति का वरदान श्रीधर गिरिधरम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति श्री राधावरम श्री राधा मोहन
श्याम शोभन अंगजति पीताम्बरम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति श्री राधावरम
सत्य दे हमको अभय शिव कामना कल्याण की सत्य दे हमको अभय शिव कामना कल्याण की दे सुमति सुंदर हमें सुंदर सरस गुण ज्ञान की ज्ञान घन विज्ञान घन श्री भक्त वत्सल सुंदरम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति श्री राधावरम श्री राधा मोहन श्याम शोभन अंगकति पीताम्बरम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति श्री राधावरम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति श्री राधावरम जयति जय जय जयति जय जय जयति श्री राधावरम कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे न भूल व्याकुल मन जब इत उत डोले व्याकुल मन जब इत उत डोले कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे न भूले। When our minds are turbulent, disturbed, व्याकुल मन जब इत उत डोले, difficult to control, no peace, then the only solution, Krishna Krishna kahe na bole, the name of Sri Krishna. Wrap the mind around it, and that mind will become peaceful on its own. Krishna Krishna kahe na bole, Krishna Krishna kahe na bole, Krishna Krishna kahe na bole. व्याकुल मन जब इत उत डोले, व्याकुल मन जब इत उत डोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले. धीरज जावे पग भर मावे, धीरज जावे पग भर मावे, निज मन ही निज तन को खावे, निज मन ही निज तन को खावे, श्याम शरण में, श्याम शरण में, श्याम शरण में, श्याम शरण में मनवा बोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले. इत उत की रस, इत उत की रस ना हम छोड़े, इत उत की रस ना हम छोड़े, इत उत की रस ना हम छोड़े, ना हम छोड़े, ना हम छोड़े, इत उत की रस ना हम छोड़े, कृष्ण चरण को मुख अब मोरे, कृष्ण चरण को मुख अब मोरे, नारायण हरि, नारायण हरि, नारायण हरि मन पत खोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले. व्याकुल मन जब इत उत डोले, व्याकुल मन जब इत उत डोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले, कृष्ण कृष्ण काहे ना बोले. रानी रानी तेरो रानी रानी तेरो चिरजियो गोपाल 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 रानी तेरो चिरजियो गोपाल रानी तेरो चिरजियो गोपाल रानी तेरो चिरजियो गोपाल रानी तेरो चिरजियो गोपाल बेगी बरो बधे होय विरधलत बेगी बरो बधे होय विरधलत महरि मनोहर बा महरि मनोहर बा चिरजियो गोपाल रानी तेरो चिरजियो गोपाल उपज पर्यो यह उपज पर्यो यह कुखी भाग्य बल उपज पर्यो यह कुखी भाग्य बल समुद्र सीप जैसे ला सब गोकुल के प्राण जीवन धन सब गोकुल के प्राण जीवन धन बैरन के उरसा चिरजियो गोपाल रानी तेरो चिरजियो गोपाल सूर की तो जिया सूर की तो जिया सुख पावत है सूर की तो जिया सुख पावत है निरखत शाम तमाम निरखत श्याम तमाम, रजया रजला गो मेरे अखियन, रजया रजला गो मेरे अखियन, रोग दोष झंझार, रोग दोष झंझार, चिर जियो गोपाल, रानी तेरो चिर जियो गोपाल, गोपाल गोपाल 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 गोपाल, गोपाल गोपाल, गोपाल गोपाल गोपाल, गोपाल गोपाल गोपाल, गोपाल गोपाल गोपाल, गोपाल गोपाल गोपाल, रानी तेरो चिर जियो गोपाल। वे दूर घर जाए चलो तुम, वे दूर घर जाए चलो तुम, वे दूर घर जाए चलो तुम, वे दूर घर जाए चलो तुम। शबरी के बेर सुदामा जी के चावल, शबरी की बेर सुदामा जी के चावल रुचि रुचि भोग लगाए, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाए। वे दूर घर जाए, चलो तुम वे दूर घर जाए, चलो तुम वे दूर घर जाए, चलो तुम। बड़े बड़े मंदिर, बड़े बड़े मंदिर कौन काम के, बड़े बड़े मंदिर कौन काम के, भाव अंदर नहीं पावे, भाव अंदर नहीं पावे। सूरदास प्रभु तुम्हारे दरस को, सूरदास प्रभु तुम्हारे दरस को, काहे तो बेर लगाए, काहे तो बेर लगाए। वे दूर घर जाए, चलो तुम वे दूर घर जाए, चलो तुम। शबरी की बेर सुदामा जी के चावल, शबरी की बेर सुदामा जी के चावल रुचि रुचि भोग लगाए, रुचि रुचि भोग लगाए। वे दूर घर जाए, चलो तुम वे दूर घर जाए, चलो तुम वे दूर घर जाए। जमुना जमुना किनारे मोरा गाँव, जमुना किनारे मोरा गाँव। सावरे जयो सावरे, सावरे जयो सावरे। जमुना किनारे मोरा गाँव, सावरे जयो सावरे, सावरे जयो सावरे। जमुना 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 किनारे मोरा गाँव, जमुना किनारे मोरा गाँव। सावरे जयो सावरे, सावरे जयो सावरे। जमुना किनारे मोरी ऊंची हवेली, जमुना किनारे मोरी, जमुना किनारे, जमुना किनारे मोची मोरी ऊंची, जमुना किनारे मोरी ऊंची हवेली। मैं ब्रज की गोपिका नवेली, मैं ब्रज की गोपिका नवेली। राधा रंगीली मेरो नाम, राधा रंगीली मेरो नाम सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे सुन मुरली मैं भय रे दीवान सुन मुरली मैं भय रे दीवान सुध बुध कोई चैन गवाई सुर बुध कोई चैन गवाई ध्यान लग्यो है तेरो नाम ध्यान लग्यो है तेरो नाम सावरे वे जयो सावरे सावरे ये जयो सावरे जमुना किनारे मोरा काम जमुना किनारे मोरा काम सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे जमुना जमुना किनारे मोरा गाँव जमुना किनारे मोरा गाँव सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे ऐ जयो सावरे। बोले श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय। Once, devotees, there was a man who was walking along the side of a lake on a very bright, calm, sunny day. While walking past this lake, he stopped to gaze into the lake, and in the still water of this lake, he saw there his own reflection. Looking at himself reflected in the lake, he was really fascinated by what he saw. He stared at his reflection, and the question came to his mind, is this who I am? He pondered this to himself. The next day, seemingly amazed at looking at his reflection and trying to figure out if this is who he really was, he decided to return to the lake again. But overnight, as we are having now, the weather changed a bit. And so now you had some breeze blowing over the water. When this man looked into the lake again, he saw an image of himself, but it seemed to be moving about as if it were distracted, disturbed. Looking at it, he questioned again to himself, is this who I really am? The next day, again he went to the lake shore, but now the weather was really bad and it was raining. And we all know when you look out into the waterways when rain is falling, is quite turbulent. And when he looked into the lake, the image of himself was very blurred, indistinct. He couldn't make out himself in there. So it seemed like a very confused version of himself was looking back at him. Time passed, and one day there was hurricane sort of weather, stormy weather. So eager to see the lake in this weather, this man again went to the shore and he looked at his reflection again. And what did he see? In those stormy conditions, he saw reflected his image seemingly moving about as if it were angry, storming about. Looking at it, he asked himself, is this the real me? All the while this man was coming every day and going back and forth, looking at his reflection, there was a sly fox, a little animal who was observing him. But not just a fox, a sly fox, a smart one. This fox was looking at this man, his behavior, and his reactions. So this fox, seeing this man here again, after so many days, started to let out a little laugh. I don't know what the laugh of a fox sounds like. Ha 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 ha. He heard this little laugh, and the man turned to see this fox in the bushes there laughing at him. Then this fox spoke to the man. He said, "You foolish human, you are looking at what is merely a reflection of who you are, changing with every passing mood of the weather. How can you believe that this is the real you?" "But where is the real me?" inquired the man. The fox said to him, "Okay, I want you to come back here in the depths of the winter time, and you will find who you are when you look into this lake." And so said, so done. The man agreed. When winter came, and those of you, well, we don't have winter here, but those of you who have experienced winter time, the water freezes, everywhere is white, snow falls. When winter arrived, the lake itself froze solid, ice, and snow fell, covering everything that grew on the lakeside. The man returned to the lake and looked in at this pristine whiteness, the silence of this lake. Looking at it, guess what happened? Could he see his reflection? You don't see a reflection in snow, do you? Just that pure whiteness. So he looked at the lake, at the snow, and he thought, there is no me in the lake anymore. The fox came by, and he told this to the fox, "I am amazed. There is no me in the lake anymore. There is no reflection," he said to this fox, who was sitting patiently beside him. Then the sly fox said, "Exactly so. Now you can no longer settle for these passing images or projections of yourself. The lake is like an empty canvas. It invites you to become the person you truly are. Look inside your own heart. Look deeper than your passing moods. There you will discover who you are." And this wonderful story, devotees, illustrates what? That you shouldn't go looking for yourself in a lake. The lake represents your mind. Your mind operates all the time with all of the thoughts that you have. When You have a mental wind like the stormy weather, be it anger, happiness, greed, praise, blame, whatever it may be. The mind storms about. In other words, thoughts just rage through your head. The question is that we all observe these things in our mind, don't we? So, the mistake we all make is we think that these thoughts that we are looking at, raging through our minds, it is me. But what you are looking at is not you, because you are the one that's doing the looking. It's a distinction. We are all told, go deep inside to find what? When you go deep inside, I am telling you that you don't find anything. It is not something to be found. You realize that all of these thoughts in your head, even the idea of you as a person, I, is just a thought. It is just a thought. When all of that subsides, like the lake becoming still, the mind becomes still, it's not moving, no vrittis, then what happens? You realize that you are separate from it as an observer, just something observing. That something observing is not limited inside of your body. That something that is observing is everywhere. And that is what is referred to as your true self. So all religions around the world give you tools and techniques just to reach this one state. To realize, devotees, that your idea of yourself as a person is false. This is agyan, this is ignorance. All the other theories and ideas that emerged are based on this notion of I, myself, me, my soul, I will go. In truth and in fact, devotees, no one goes anywhere because everybody is everywhere. This sort of realization comes only when a person is no longer a person, you are ready. Till then, when you pray, when you sing, whatever you do, it's just an idea in your mind. It is just an idea. Remove all of those things, like the reflections that you see in your mind, and still it completely. And immediately, right now, right here, you are aware of awareness itself. You are aware of you. Most spiritualists who have had this knowledge, this experience, most of the times it came by with a near-death experience or a death experience. In other words, it happened when their true self and their body-mind was pulled apart for some reason. And so it is not something for you to understand intellectually. You wouldn't understand it. It is something to be known. And this is why it is called self-realization. Even the word realization is wrong because to realize implies thought. The self we speak about, that supreme, is always present everywhere. The only thing is that you are not awake to it. Aware. And when I say aware, don't misunderstand me. I don't mean you are aware. Again, your ego is coming into play. That self is awareness everywhere. And that awareness, being aware in you, Raj, in me, in everybody, in everything, that is what we refer to as a self. But when you say, I want to find God, that I that you speak of is illusion. That I is just an idea. An idea. So devotees, this lesson is the ultimate lesson. And unfortunately, the problem in the spiritual arena is that the true lessons really can't be explained. The experiences cannot be explained. They're only for you to realize on your own. However you want to go, whichever pathway you choose. And if you still walk around feeling like an individual, I this, I that, I the next, not using, as we've put, either the path of Sharanagati, which means you destroy yourself, it is God alone, not you. Or the path of Gyan, I am everything. You see yourself in everything. It's the same end result. You destroy this idea of you being a person. Then, if that is not achieved, then there's still a lot to be done. But the thing is, as we go back to what the Upanishads say, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Whatever you think, whatever you believe, all of these things at the end of the day, that is a form of bondage. When you realize that you are beyond these things, then you truly see. As the Buddha said, when he so-called became enlightened, they asked him, what did you gain? He said, I didn't gain anything, but I could tell you what I lost. I lost hate, anger, greed, all of these trappings of the mind. And what happened? He said, I am awake. I am awake. So devotees, as you go through life, reflect on this story. And what I'd like you to do, the practice here is, keep observing your mind. Keep observing it. The thoughts that you have. Don't believe everything. You could believe something for your whole life. Doesn't necessarily, it isn't true. You don't know. But certain beliefs are useful. Certain thoughts are useful. Others are not. Again, the Gita says it's all due to the mind. So we all behave, we all do what we do depending on what we think. But if you keep observing this mind of yours, you move even beyond that. Moving beyond your thoughts. And that stillness, that observer that is there, the self, keep asking, who is the real me? And the real you doesn't change. Doesn't ever change. Always present, always here. And then you realize there is nothing otherwise to be sought other than yourself. But funnily enough, how can you go and find what you already are? So don't overthink it, but continue your practices. But this one, no matter which pathway you choose, observe your mind. And I'll end with this. You must always question authority, even if you are the authority. This world, it is beyond our comprehension. The laws, there is just one self. And too much thinking, too much analysis, this, that, and the other, not good. Again, going back to my guru, keep it simple. Hold on to one thing, practice it, give it your 100%, don't be distracted. And eventually, you would come to this realization, you would wake up on your own. At this point here, I'll conclude. Bole Sri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai.
Bole Vrindavan Sri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Devotees, for a few moments we'll occupy ourselves in glorifying Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Tumisha said the tune, very beautiful bhajans, deep meaning. Let's try to continue on our journey, each one individually, wherever we are at. One of the ways given to us is simply glorify that Master. But remember, the mind must be fixed. Bhagwan says, fix your mind on me. It is very difficult to have an empty mind. In the absence of that, we fix our mind on that which is very positive. This is where the power of Kirtan comes in. We have heard in Ramayana, Aage chali, Bahuri Raghuraya, Rishamukh Parvat Neraya. When Sri Ram, Bhaiya Lakshman searching for Sita, Aage chali. No matter what trials and tribulations Sri Ram had. Kingdom apparently taken away from him, father dying, he himself, Sita Mata, Lakshman, being sent into the forest by Kaikeyi. In the forest itself, Sita abducted, we have been hearing. But Sri Ram, aage chali, he kept on going forward. Life has its challenges, but all these challenges are to help us to withdraw the mind. Through the process of negation, Vedanta says. Where do I go? Sri Ram headed to Rishimukh Parbat. Rishimukh, that mountain where the sages, the seers, the rishis maintained silence. What is that silence? Amal achal manatrun samana. A mind without impurities. A mind that is unwavering. That is fixed on the divine. That is the stillness we speak about. So even if we do kirtan and the mind is not fixed on divinity, then it wanders in all different directions. Then it just becomes a vocal exercise. So there's an inner technique, that we need to maintain when we perform these practices. And the power of music, the rhythm, etc., could really pull the mind and focus it on one particular point. This is why, like in Krishna Bhagwan's case, he danced, he plays upon his bansuri, such wonderful interaction with his devotees. You have something to focus upon. If you don't put your mind to work, it will find its own work to do. Until we attain to that state of perfect stillness. So this is the process. It's instructive to note also that Sugriv was on Rishimukh Parbat, but he was very disturbed. The sages were in a state of stillness, Rishimukh Parbat, but Sugriv's mind was chanchal, waving all over the external stimuli. He was more caught up with the external stimuli that impacted upon his mind. Fear of his brother Bali, external factors. This is why Achalman, mind that is unwavering, withdraw it, stabilize it. Amal, no impurities, think nothing negative. As you have heard time and again, Anamal, Mayimal, Karmimal, none of these things in the mind. When we are in this kind of state, we are getting there. The experiences become different. So just to let you know, not just singing, where the mind is. Place it on Bhagavan Sri Krishna. When you hold that mind firmly fixed here, then the next step is to go to that point where you become one with Him. This is why He said, think of me constantly, worship me, bow down to me, you shall come to me. Meaning what? At Umesh is saying not a physical movement to go anywhere. The case of becoming one with the true nature, the Bhagavan Krishna. Aham Brahmasmi. So devotees, every pathway we choose, as you have heard, takes us here. Kirtan is said to be the easiest, safest and surest pathway. So for a few moments, we go on this journey. Bhaju Ghana Sham Bhaju Murali Gopal Bhaju Nanda Kelal Bhajo Puradhi Nanda Kelal Bhajo Giridhar Gopala Mathura Natha Kamal Nayan He Keval Yadama Bhaju Ghana Sham Bhaju Murli Gopal Bhaju 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 Nanda Kelal Bhaju
राधे नंद के लाल भजो
राधे नंद के लाल भजो
राधे नंद के लाल भजो
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
हे मथुरा नाथ
मथुरा नाथ
मथुरा नाथ
मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
कमल नयन हे केवल्य धामा
कमल नयन केवल्य रामा
कमल नयन हे केवल्य धामा
कमल नयन केवल्य दामा
भजु घन श्याम भजु मुरली गोपाल भजु
भज धन श्याम भज मुरली गोपाल भज
नंद के लाल भजो
राधे नंद के लाल भजो
राधे नंद के लाल भजो
राधे नंद के लाल भजो
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल गिरिधर गोपाल गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
हे मथुरा नाथ
मथुरा नाथ
मथुरा नाथ
मथुरा नाथ
हे मथुरा नाथ
मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल गिरिधर गोपाल गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
गिरिधर गोपाल मथुरा नाथ
हे कमल नयन हे केवल्य दामा
कमल नयन है केवल्य रामा
कमल नयन हे केवल्य दामा
कमल नयन है केवल्य रामा
भजु घन श्याम भजु मुरली गोपाल भजु
भजु घन श्याम भजु मुरली गोपाल भजु
के लाल भजो
राधे नंद 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 के लाल भजो
Devotees, this mind is a very, very powerful force. It depends on how we use it. A little strange incident, you know. Last night we mentioned about how Hanuman Baba met Sri Ram when they were children. And when Sri Ram left to go to the forest with Vishwamitra, Hanuman Baba was sent to Kiskindha to stay in the company on that very same Rishimukh Parbat with Sugriva. So this was explained last night, you know, devotees. I just want to put to you how this mind could work. You know, last night when I went to sleep, at some point in time, the very, very strange situation where when I explained about two children meeting, Sri Ram and Hanuman, this incident actually, not knowing was Sri Ram or Hanuman, two very, very beautiful children in my dream met each other and hugged up, as we explained, Hanuman and Sri Ram meeting and hugging up. Now, what I'm trying to put to you, that the mind was so focused on that, look what came to it. We actually created it. It was a wonderful experience. This is why I'm saying the mind is a powerful tool. What we use it for to determine a lot as to what we become. So devotees, this is why I said put the mind to work. From years of experience, you create your own Krishna. You create the Leelas in your mind. So the mind will not run away. So each name we chant, you think of something, Krishna. Think of something, Krishna. You see, just like when you hear something, your mind already hold it. If you can focus totally on Krishna Bhagavan, it happens. See if you can get that experience, and as you leave here today, this Krishna will be in the mind very strongly. Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda Radhe Krishna Murari Govinda Radhe Krishna Murari Govinda Radhe Krishna Murari Govinda Radhe Krishna Murari Govinda Ghana Shyama Murari Govinda Ghana Shyama Murari Govinda Shyama Murari Govinda Manamohan Murari Gopala Mohan Murari Gopala Manamohan Murari Gopala Manamohan Murari Gopala Radhe Shyama Murari Gopala Radhe Shyama Murari Gopala Radhe Shyama Murari Gopala Radhe Shyama Murari Gopala Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda Ananda Sindhu Prabhu Nandalala Ananda Sindhu Prabhu Nandalala Ananda Sindhu Prabhu Nandalala Ananda Sindhu Prabhu Nandalala He Umapati Dev 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 Prabhu Nandalala Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda devotees, when you taste something that is very sweet, and sweet is just a term I use because it's the closest you can get to that divine taste, bhakti ras. You don't want to lose it, and nothing can compare with it. Nothing. Nothing. So I will just, as I said, experience is so important. Experience certain things, and you come to a point which is you will the dream or the waking. Which is you will one, devotees. They say there are 4 states of consciousness: Jagrat, Swapna, Susupti and Turiya. Many times what we experience in dream, even when we are alive, when we are awake, as we see, we don't experience. Sometimes it's so very difficult to draw the line between what is dream and what is wake. But then, when we read, Ramayana says that the yogis remain awake in the night of delusion through the power of the name. Then we stay there. We stay there. We remain awake with the power of the name. Devotees, so I will just wrap it up with this simple bhajan. We appeal to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. हे जगत पिता भगवान, हमें दो ज्ञान, तू ईश्वर प्यारा, दुनिया में एक सहारा. You are the only hope, O Lord, the only hope. As I go up in life, my childhood days, I can't remember everything, but I continue, I accumulate sins which have an impact upon me. My karmas bear fruits. When I come to that right understanding, I try to seek you. My heart tells me that you are within, but I roam everywhere, here and everywhere, bhatakata, trying to find you in my ignorance. Sins bind me. O Nandalal, listen to my call, I am appealing to you. Remove all these negativities, all these impurities. And if not, as we say, Eka nadiya eka nar kahavi. मैल भी नीर भरो, जब दो मिलकर एक बरन भयो, सूर श्री नाम परियो. There are many tributaries with the impurities that flow to the Ganga, O Lord. But when they merge into the Ganga, all are called Gangajal. So I, like a tributary with my impurities, if I can reach to you, Lord, I become one with you. Where are the impurities? This is why I seek you. Give me the right understanding of how to come to you, O Lord. I seek you. So devotees, we all know this bhajan. Join, make preparation for the final Havan. हे जगत पिता भगवान, हमें दो ज्ञान, तू ईश्वर प्यारा, दुनिया में एक सहारा. बचपन में होशन आया है, जीवन में पाप कमाया है. बचपन में होशन आया है, जीवन में पाप कमाया है. अब जाओ कहा विषयों ने मुझको मारा, दुनिया में एक सहारा. तो यह कहता है, तू मन मंदिर में रहता है. दिल दिल मेरा तो यह कहता है, तू मन मंदिर में रहता है। दिन रात भटकता रहा मैं, दर दर मारा दुनिया में एक सहारा। पापों से भगवन हमें बचा, वेदों का सच्चा भक्त बना। पापों से भगवन हमें बचा, वेदों का सच्चा भक्त बना। पाखंड झूठ से सब ही करे किनारा, दुनिया में एक सहारा। मझधार में है तेरा मेरा, कृपा करा से है तेरा। मझधार में है तेरा मेरा, कृपा करा से है तेरा। नंदलाल पाप में बीता जीवन सारा, शाविंद्र तो भगवान श्री कृष्ण विषय नंदलाल गोपाल, we glorify him, we proceed up. गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे गोपी गोप बाला। गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे मुरली गान लोला।
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे गोपी गोप बाला। गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे मुरली गान लोला।
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे राधा रमन 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 लोला।
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे मुरली गान 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 लोला।
हे गिरिधर गोपाला, हे गिरिधर गोपाला। हे गिरिधर गोपाला,
हे गिरिधर गोपाला। हे गिरिधर गोपाला, हे गिरिधर गोपाला।
राधा गिरिधर गोपाला, कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाला। जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
राधा गिरिधर गोपाला, कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाला। जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
माधव मुरहरि मधुर मनोहर, गिरिधर गोपाला।
माधव मुरहरि मधुर मनोहर, गिरिधर गोपाला।
माधव मुरहरि मधुर मनोहर, गिरिधर गोपाला।
माधव मुरहरि मधुर मनोहर गिरिधर गोपाल।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाल,
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाल।
कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाल,
कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाल।
राधा गिरिधर गोपाल,
राधा गिरिधर गोपाल।
हरे गिरिधर गोपाल,
हरि गिरिधर गोपाल।
कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाल,
कृष्ण गिरिधर गोपाल।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाल।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाल।
बोल वृंदावन श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की।
We join in final Havan. Om Sriman Mahaganaadhipatye Swaha. Om Sri Gauri Mata Swaha. Om Sri Prithvi Mata Swaha. Om Sri Panchlokpal Devaya Swaha. Om Hrim Srim Chandikaya Namaha Swaha. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Vichye Swaha. Om Hrim Srim Lakshmi Bhyo Namaha Swaha. Om Srim Hrim Saraswatye Swaha. Om Krim Kalyai Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Tara Devi Swaha. Om Sri Tripura Sundari Devi Swaha. Om Sri Bhuvaneshwari Devi Swaha. Om Sri Tripura Bhairavi Devi Swaha. Om Sri Chinnamasta Devi Swaha. Om Sri Dhumavati Devi Swaha. Om Sri Bagala Mukhi Devi Swaha. Om Sri Matangi Devi Swaha. Om Sri Kamala Devi Swaha. Om Sri Swaha Mata Bhyo Namo Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Naudurga Mata Bhyo Namo Namaha Swaha. Om Hrim Shashti Devyabhyo Namo Namaha Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Sri Sita Ramachandraya Bhyo Namo Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Radha Krishnaya Bhyo Namo Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Hum Hanumate Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Aditya Devaya Swaha. Om Sri Chandra Devaya Swaha. Om Sri Mangal Devaya Swaha. Om Sri Buddha Devaya Swaha. Om Sri Brihaspati Devaya Swaha. Om Sri Shukra Devaya Swaha. Om Sri Shani Devaya Swaha. Om Sri Rahave Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Ketave Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Agindevaya Swaha. Om Sri Ishtadevaya Swaha. Om Sri Kuldevaya Swaha. Om Sri Asthandevaya Swaha. Om Sri Vastudevaya Swaha. Om Sarvadevata Sarvadevebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Anand Swarupaya Brahmane Namaha Swaha. Om Sri Guruvebhyo Namaha Swaha. Please all stand. Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayubhavaya Cha. Om Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha. Om Namah Shivaya Cha Shivtaraya Cha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Purnamidah Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Om Sarvapa Bharang Divyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanang Chamaya Dattam Grihitam Purushottamah Achmanyam Samarpayami. Sri Agindevaya Namo Namaha. We now join in our final arati.
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ॐ जय जगदीश हरे पल पावे दुख बिन से मन का। स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का। सुख संपत्ति घर आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। माता पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहो किसकी। स्वामी शरण गहो किसकी। तुम बिना और न दूजा तुम बिना और न दूजा। आश करो जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूरन परमात्मा तुम अंतरयामी। स्वामी तुम अंतरयामी। पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता। स्वामी तुम पालन करता। दीन दयालु कृपालु दीन दयालु कृपालु कृपा करो बरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक अघोषर सबके प्राणपति। स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विधि मिलो दया में किस विधि मिलो दया में तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम रक्षक मेरे। स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे। करुणा हस्त बढ़ाओ करुणा हस्त बढ़ाओ शरण परा तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा। स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट जन में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
We join in closing prayer.
शिव हरे शिव राम सखे प्रभु त्रिविधताप निवारण हे विभो अज जनेश्वर यादव पाहि मां शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जयमङ्गलं प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जयमङ्गलम् मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्ष मङ्गलाय तनोहरे मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज ॐ मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत् पूजितं मया देवा परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे। ओम असतो मा सत्कमय ओम तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय ओम मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्याद्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम। हर हर महादेव हर हर महादेव हर हर महादेव। बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय, आदिशक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। बोले श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, बोले श्री स्वाहा माता की जय।
Sitaram. Next week, Sunday, is Father's Day, the day that we show appreciation to our loving, caring, and protective father figures. However, we would not have service next week, and as such, today we honor the blessedness of GDKM's main father figures, the Paramacharya Pandit Howdev Prasad and Pandit Dr. Umesh Prasad, and would like to do so by bestowing a token of appreciation onto them. I'd like to call on to Avinash Manohar to make the presentation to the Paramacharya. I'll now call on Vasant Ramnarayan to the presentation to Pandit Dr. Umesh Prasad. Happy Father's Day to our Gurus. Godmother celebrated her birthday last Friday, June 17th. We asked Pandit Umesh to kindly accept this token of appreciation on behalf of Godmother as we wish her a very happy birthday with many more to come. I would now call on Vashisht Ramnarayan to do the presentation. Oh, upcoming. Sorry, the upcoming birthday of Godmother on June 17th. Sitaram.
Thank you very much, Sarika. So devotees, as you've heard, we won't be having service next week Sunday for various reasons. The Paramachar wouldn't be here. He has other commitments. Also, it's a long weekend and many families have arrangements to, go various places, which is good. So you spend time with your fathers and enjoy the occasion. So let me take the opportunity now to wish all fathers a happy Father's Day, early though it may be. Secondly, let me say blessings to Raj, who sat for puja this morning. He was supposed to sit on Sunday, and Sunday coming would be his birthday. So let us wish him a happy birthday and give him a round of applause. So happy birthday, Raj, an integral member of the Gyanipa Kirtan Mandali. On behalf of all of us, we wish you the best for the next year and for always. So that's it for this morning, devotees. No service next week. Service will resume on the following Sunday.